Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is Instructor Joy. Let me first play a tune for you. This was a little excerpt from Vivaldi's Concerto in A minor. Vivaldi is such a great composer for us violinists, because he understood the instrument, our instrument violin, very, very well. So he make it sound really beautiful. He knows how to make it resonant and beautiful and flashy at the same time. Now I picked this particular passage because, number one, this is one of the very important repertoire for all violinists to have it learned at some point. Number two, it is important for us, not just violinists, for any musicians, to understand the music so that we don't get caught up with the technical difficulties, but always keep in mind the big picture, big musical picture when you play. For example, here you see there's a lot of 16th notes here. Here, the common mistake that I see in my teaching studio, a lot of violinists get caught up with this about 10, 11 measures of 16th note ongoingly, and it's quite challenging. I mean, I do admit, but here a lot of us are just busy playing the notes and then trying to go through. It is a good thing to focus on a technical part so that we can conquer that. But if you're only focusing on technical aspect while ignoring the musical part completely, that's totally a wrong approach. Because when there's no musical expression, it's just a bunch of notes and it sounds quite noisy. And there's no difference between music played by an app or computer versus us, a human violinist, right? The reason why we still sound more interesting and beautiful because we know how to express while through our playing, right? So in order to do that, it's very important for us to understand basic harmonies and basic musical development of any piece that you're playing. For example, and now here, this is the last page of the concerto, first movement of Vivaldi A minor concerto. So here it starts. And that's the theme that starts very beginning of the concerto. So do bring that one out. But when it comes here, try not to play too loud for two reasons. This is like over 10 bars of a long collection of modulations, which means there are different chords happening throughout, and then they're introducing different keys throughout. So for us, it's important for us to emphasize those key changes by playing those changed notes. Often you will see by just simply saying accidentals. So when you say sharp, natural and stuff, that's the one that they're introducing new keys. So bring those notes out. So, and then when you have a lot of notes, in this case a lot of 16th notes, whether this or Bach or whatever chord, see which notes are important and which notes are not as important so that you can distinguish. Just like when we speak, we don't speak all same tone, same dynamic, same length. We sometimes get softer. If you want to emphasize something, we make it like louder and a little longer or at some way, and then we get softer when it's not important. But if you speak all the time this loud, it's very hard to understand, like this. So you want to make your music easy to understand by bringing those important notes a little more out and not so important notes a little less. So when you look at the first 16th notes, it starts like, so here the first note of each group are important ones. Those are moving one. But here, that's important, not so important, important, not so important, important. Yeah. So that way, that comes out. But this group, those are just background. So just bring it, make it really, really softer. Yeah. So that when you put it together, so that people hear what you're doing. What happens if we don't? So this is what happened. Yeah, it's just bunch of notes. It's hard to understand what this music is about. If we don't make it clear, if we don't understand, for sure the audience are not going to understand. So it's our job to make sure that whatever music we're playing is easy to understand and the message gets delivered. And let's go to a little bow technique, how to do that. So now, whenever we have fast running notes, 16, 30 seconds, whichever it is, it's crucially important to pick the right part of the bow so that we can play fast, right? Just like when we run, we have to dress lightly so that we can run fast. If we carry heavy bags, heavy coat, it's really hard to run fast. Same thing goes for the bow. So understand where is the lighter parts of the bow, where is heavier part of the bow, so that whenever we have to do fast runs, fast running notes, we use those lighter part of the bow. As you can see, this fork has lots of parts, so it's very, very heavy. As you get towards the tip, you can soon feel it's much, much lighter part. So in general, when we play fast notes, we like to use upper somewhere from the middle to the tip. Now they both work. The only difference, when you play in the middle part of the bow, when you do string crossings, the degree of the height of your right elbow may not be big, but because of the nature of the bow, it bounces on its own if it's too fast. Unless that's what you want, we call it sautille. In this case, it's not sautille, it's a legato combined with slurs here and there. In this case, it would be better if you leave the bow really at the tip. Yeah? And then you would practice that one, just open strings. Of course, paying attention to those different dynamics the way you like it. And here, as you go, so these long 10 bars are again changes of different chords. It's a collection of modulation, which means introducing different keys. For us, which means whenever you see accidental notes or kind of scale or melody that introduces to the new key signature, new key, then you want to bring that one up. For example, now we have C sharp, so we were A minor, now we change to A major. Now we're changing to the D major by going with a scale. Now we're in the back to, we move to D major. So that's why it would be a good idea to bring this scale. Now we're in D major. Now we're in G major. Yeah, that's why I like to bring the scale out. On and on like that. So when it comes to a study of harmonies and all related that one, there's a lengthy study that can be done. We as a violinist, because we don't see the complete music, because we see only our parts, which is only the melody, we often dismiss the entire harmony or entire music. So if you know how to read bass clef, it's a good idea to study with your piano part, the whole score, so that you understand what it is. If you don't know how to read it, then see if you can listen at the recording and see if you can understand what kind of chords progression, what kind of changes of harmonies are happening, so that you, when you play, you know what to bring out, what to leave it a little less. Yeah? I hope this was helpful. This is a great concerto and we all have to learn at some point. But if I may add one more thing, try to practice always with a score, and also don't always practice from the beginning, but start practicing one of those hardest passages first, yeah, so that every part of music are as nice as anywhere. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again. Bye bye.